Well, friends, welcome to the Pirate Round. And I be Captain Skultopus, and this be the Scarlet Raven. And we're here with our friends, Captain Blackbeard, Bill G. Rat, Polly Pirate, Captain Ann Barney,
Squash,
and Squash, Captain First Mate Squash, aboard our ship. Now, as we do, we start out every episode with the Pirate Round. Say hello to our friends, and to toast to them, to those who aren't here, to those who we wish were here, and to those we say, fair sailing, friends, if you can't be here, and to those who are no longer with us. And we say to you now, Yar har, welcome to the Pirate Round, friends. All right.
It's always good. So, Captain,
I
noticed that you hurt your wing there.
Oh.
What did you do?
Well, now you remember the Portuguese we came across the other time, downloaded as it was, and we boarded.
Correct. She was sitting low in the water.
Sit low in the water. We thought he was surprised, and so we went down and boarded her. Well, they put up more of a fight than you would think, and so I got my old flipper here injured when I took a pistol ball through the hand. So I'm a bit out of commission now, but I'll tell you right now that the person who did it, well, they're regretting it now. So, which brings us to our next episode of the Pirate Round, when we talk about injuries and compensation. So,
You didn't want to be injured.
well, you don't want to be injured, but if you must, keep in mind that your brothers aboard your pirate ship will take care of you. And this is a sort of a service net
It's kind
that
of
they
like
had.
modern workman's compensation, you might say.
Yeah, you might say that, and I'd say that's probably the case. You know, they would take care of each other, and people who had got injured in combat were considered warriors and honorable, so much so that if you did flee from combat, you would be put to death immediately by your brothers for cowardice. So, but however, those who were injured and fighting, they would be getting some compensation once the fighting was over. And so, we have a list drawn up by our crew and voted upon, and of course, as pirate crew, we vote upon this. Voted upon by the crew, and we've come up with a list. So, this is just being pieces of 8 there, Scarlet Raven.
Now, a piece of 8 is actually quite valuable.
True.
In modern times now.
If you found one, you'd be very, very happy. And I suppose, in a sense, it's about 1 to 100 now. So, one piece of 8 to 100 American dollars, as so it is said.
Now, take note that in the times of piracy, that the average person would make about 40 coin a year. A richer person would be, 100, 140, to maybe a little more than that. A noble, even quite higher than that. But 40 coins for the average person a year would be a pretty good wage.
It would be quite a wage. What I remember reading is that your average lord and landowner, so perhaps a peer of the realm, perhaps an earl, would be quite happy to turn over £2,000 a year from all his tenants and such. Now, so keep that in mind. Now, in pieces of 8, of course, that's quite different. But in money-wise, you'll see that people, average folks, and common seamen weren't paid very much. If they were paid at all.
If they were paid at all.
True.
Some of them were forced to work on board the ships.
Well, impressment. But we'll talk about impressment at another time. So, in pieces of 8 now. The loss of an eye, 100 pieces of 8. So, as you can see, Polly Parrot has lost her eye. Now, Polly Parrot was fighting a pigeon in the last altercation we had, and she ran herself into the yardarm. Now, because of that, Polly is because she's a parrot and a member of our crew.
She doesn't really like pieces of 8.
No, but we gave her 100 pieces of 8 worth of crackers, which, as you can imagine, is about 40 barrels of crackers.
And to a parrot, that makes her quite happy.
It's true. And she'll be munching those crackers from now till Domesday, as far as I'm concerned. However, loss of an eye. Well, it seems that a person could get along with one eye. It'd be tough, but you probably could.
I've actually heard tales of that some pirates would actually, they didn't actually wear the patch because they lost an eye, but they would cover it so that way when they went below decks in the darkness, then they could move it, say, to the other eye or lift it up, and now this eye could actually see in the darkness. It was now acclimated.
I like that idea. It's certain to be one we could talk about, and it makes sense. And they say now, even in times, that you should cover one eye with your hand as you're walking along, so that you do preserve your night vision. All right, loss of a right arm, 600. Well, now of course, if you lose your right arm, what you going to do? Well, if you can get the hook on it, of course, but if you lose the whole thing, it'd be rough to have a hook on your stump.
You couldn't be pulling on the ropes.
Nope, you couldn't. So the loss of the right arm is 600 pieces of 8. But here the crew has voted that the loss of a left arm is only 500. Now
that's a bit of a discrimination, because
it is.
What if you're more used to using your left hand than your right hand?
But that's true. And I want to say that here at the Pirate Round, we do not discriminate between those who use their left hand and those who use their right hand. Keep in mind, in the olden times, those who used their left hand were considered spawns of Satan and were often burned at the stake. But we won't go that far. We'll say this forever, that here at the Pirate Round, we don't care if you're left-handed or right-handed. You're still a friend of ours, as long as you're a pirate. So,
what happened if you only lose your finger? Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that now. Okay, loss of a finger, 100 pounds. Or, 100 pieces of 8. Well, loss of a finger, it seems to me, is a way to make a quick 100 pieces of 8. Suppose you got your pinky blown off. What would you do without your pinky? Well, you've got 9 others.
Pick your nose.
You've got 9 others there, so it seems to me that
Or if your pinky hits your enemy.
True. It seems to me that that's an odd price, because most seamen, I'm sure, being used to a dangerous life aboard ship, probably lost a few fingers here and there.
Now, what about the guy that lost all 5 fingers but still had his hand? Would he be the Pentahook?
We call him Rage of the Pentahook. And this unfortunate gentleman had 5 hooks. Had 5 hooks on his hand. They call him the Pentahook.
That's right.
So he would have got 500 pieces of 8.
I once met a man with a hook for a hand.
Well, that's true. So, loss of a right leg, 500 pieces of 8. And we know there's quite a thing about pirates swamping around on their stumps and on their peg legs.
On the crutch,
or on
John
crutch,
Silver.
Just like John Silver.
For a peg, back in those days, would have been quite painful to the leg. You could possibly get sores because it would rub against you and cause gangrene. So
that's true.
In many ways, having a crutch might have actually been the better way to go.
And I think perhaps that they probably would have a crutch instead of a peg leg. I'm not sure where the peg leg would have been invented. But I'm almost certain that they probably would have had a crutch.
We'll have to research that.
We'll look into that. So loss of your left leg then is 400 pieces of 8. Well, again,
that's not right.
Well, again, right leg versus left leg. It seems to me that they should be even. So the loss of any leg should be worth 500 pieces of 8. And in this, I'm going to have to make an executive decision in the crew.
Now, Captain, I don't want to sound petty or not, but I heard that Captain Bartholomew Roberts, not Bartholomew Roberts, Bartholomew Roberts actually paid up to $800 for a hand.
I've heard that too, and I've heard that amongst. But this was voted upon by our crew, and all I can say is that times have been
You
a
don't
bit
sound
lean.
greedy, though.
No, I don't want to sound greedy, but times have been a bit lean, and perhaps when we finally take that treasure galleon, we'll up the ante a bit, so to speak, so that losing limbs or so will be worth a bit more. So injuries and compensation there such. What else have you got to say?
I don't have much to say about that. What if you lost your ear?
Doesn't
I
say.
guess it doesn't say. It doesn't count.
Well,
because you can still hear. You may not hear
still
as
here.
well.
Well, that's true. What if you lost your nose? Huh. I don't know. We'll have to bring that up at the next crew meeting.
What if you lost your teeth?
Well, most of our crew don't have teeth. Unfortunately.
Besides, it's not really much of an injury unless you be shot through the jaw with a cannonball.
Well, or like a pistol ball,
Or
like
pistol
Woods
ball.
Rogers himself,
That's
who was
right.
shot through the mouth. So that concludes this episode then of injuries and compensation aboard a pirate ship. And so we say to you now, friends, here from the Pirate Round, thank you for viewing, and thank you for joining us this day. And we say to you now, smooth sailing and happy waves, and may all your piratey dreams come true.
And may you have great adventures, and always be yourself, and never let anyone kick you into the seas.
That's right. Remember, you be a pirate, and don't you dare take shite from no one, because that's what a pirate won't ever do. And I say to you now, smooth sailing
Yarr.
from the Pirate Round.